Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Three Songs Podcast. I'm your host, Bay. For those of you that don't know, Three Songs Podcast is a podcast where we listen to three original songs from emerging or independent artists. And they tell what they mean to them, and we kind of see where the story takes us. And it always takes us to some pretty interesting places, I have to say. It's been a lot of fun, and we're on episode 10. I'm pretty proud to be on episode 10. And as promised, we have Bernard Milé coming to us from Paris. His original home is in Warsaw, but he's living in Paris right now. He's a great musician. I'm really excited about this show. Came to us today with his three songs, MADA, What a Shame, and Where Are You? So I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoyed making it, and we'll talk afterwards. Thanks, guys. How do you feel about the putting your music out there and the reception of your music? Does that get a little depressing sometimes because you don't feel like it's getting the attention it deserves? And this,
Um,
you think it should be a little easier to get your music out there and have people pay attention to it than it is right
well,
now?
that's for sure. The thing I struggle a bit, in my head with when I'm releasing my music is, it might get plenty of views, or it might get, yeah, like basically it gets plenty of views, but it doesn't get much, likes, or pretty much never any comments or something. It's not like I want to talk with people in the comments, or that, I need it for validation. But if this happens, it actually means that if there are plenty of likes and comments, it actually means that it gets traction with people. Not that they just stumbled upon it, but that, they come back to it regularly or something. That would be, a really cool feeling, to know that you actually have people who come back to it, or felt so good about something that they decided, to write, "Oh my God, it's so amazing." You get this sort of feeling with others, right? Like for me, every song is a different project altogether. It's just something that flows out in a moment. Most of the songs I write and record, I do it the same day. It's like a 5-hour thing. With an acoustic guitar, I invent something and then basically record it in the evening. And then I don't touch it ever again. I have a bit of the, chasing the demo syndrome. Once I've done it, I'm like, I can't do it better. There's a handful of songs I tried to re-record. One of them is actually MADA, the Japanese one.
Yeah.
This version, the final one, is actually picked up from different stages in my life, because the backing track I did in 2022, I think.
Okay.
The vocals from the first ever version in 2018. And then I mixed it in 2024. I did the backing track for the song, and then I tried doing an impression of Japanese, because I was a big fan of Shintaro Sakamoto at the time. It's a very famous Japanese, like, soft rock, a little bit jazzy, a little bit, post-punk. And I was just enamored with the way he sings. And I was just walking around the apartment, there was Shintaro Sakamoto on the speakers, and I was just, singing Japanese lyrics I don't understand. And basically then I just tried to do an impression of that
Okay.
on my track. So those are not real words, I mean, apart from the occasional sayonara or something. Right?
Manga thing have a sitar in it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
Mada,
actually,
Mada, Mada.
Mada, yeah. Went on a like weird. That's a great sound.
And then you have the resonance things, which are
I had to give me one of those.
Don't really have stories about these, like, about any of the songs I write. I mean, apart from the occasional breakup song or something. which then does have a story. But like for me, they are just like the lyrics are the least important part, I suppose. For me, it's more about the ambience and the vibe of the whole thing. But then like they don't really have any meaning, if I can call it that. Like I just try to pick some words that will sound cool together or fit, with the rhythm or something. Occasionally, I find that like if I read or listen to these lyrics like years after or a couple months after, I'm like, actually I meant something there. So, like, I feel like it might be more of a me problem than a system problem, like in my case, because
Yeah.
like in general, it's another beast completely, right? But like if I learned how to work better with the tools that are available, maybe, it would actually blow up more, right?
Yeah.
Sure that like the way that things are nowadays is absolutely absurd.
Or is it Jane? Oh, what a shame. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. You walk up the stairs, say hi, hello.
I had this, I had just the line of, is it Helen or is it Jane? What a shame. And I just wanted to make a comedy song, basically. Like I wanted the lyrics to be funny. But then when I finished it and I shouted to people, nobody laughed. So I guess I failed at that. And it's more tragic or sad than funny, especially with the arrangement.
What a shame. What a shame. Why don't you let some love shine in? And not break her heart.
This version I did in Paris when I wasn't living here. I was in my previous apartment, and just one day I was looking. I didn't have any inspiration to make something new, so I just started going through all my audio files and stuff and to see if I can have an old song that I can remake. And I found this one, and immediately I spent really the whole day just trying to find the right place.
Why don't you let some love shine in? And not
The structure was much simpler too, so I had to write some new chords because, like, for instance, basically the whole song was just dun 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 dun, the intro part over and over. I wrote like the chorus part where it goes to, why don't you let some love shine in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that part wasn't there at all before. The lyrics were, but
why don't you let some love shine in?
what a shame is, a lucky coincidence that it turned out well.
It turned out good. It turned out really good. Maybe that's a problem when people don't think it's funny. So where are you as that's your most personal song?
From these ones, yeah.
And that's like it's kind of like this longing for somebody, or what is it about exactly?
Well, basically, I got into a relationship not like barely a year ago, and we were spending every day with each other nonstop, and then she had to go for like holidays for 2 weeks with her friends, like she had some vacation planned. and I was just left alone in Paris suddenly after 2 or 3 months of being on each other's all the time together all the time, and I just felt like being how do you call it, like having a little bit of pathos here. And just missing somebody very, very hard.
And she came back?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. That's a tragic story.
No, it's not tragic at all. It's just the tragic feeling of, sitting late at night with your glass of wine and being like, oh no, I can't see her for 3 more days.
Plus you stopped hanging out with all your friends, so you have nobody to hang out with anymore either.
Yeah. Oh, actually, luckily I had no friends at the time in Paris, so I could just spend, put all my energy into the relationship.
Right above our heads, moves through the sky if you listen close.
Your singing style, I guess how many voices do you do? You do a bunch of different voices, I guess, right?
Well, it's very instinctual,
Yeah.
like just because like most of the songs I do have like a structure of a loop, basically. Like you have the maybe the basic 4 chords for a chorus, right? I mean for the verses, then you have maybe 2 or 3 for the choruses, and then it just loops and loops and loops, right?
Okay.
And I try to make the arrangement more interesting around them so that it doesn't get boring, and then do the same with the voices. Usually the voices come last, right? And it's just like listening and being like, yeah, now something is needed so that we lift it up again, or so that it changes the vibe a little bit.
Where are you? Where are you?
The elephant in the room is freaking streaming, right?
Yeah.
It is impossible to make a living out of people listening to your music today, unless you're making like, 1 billion fucking streams a month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Let's count it. Like Spotify, if you have 1,000 individual listeners unless you have 1,000 individual listeners on each track each month, you're not getting paid for it, no matter the views. So like you can have 10 ultra fans that are listening on repeat to you, but that doesn't generate you any money because there's 10 of them, even if they made 1 million views a month, right?
Yeah.
But like even like how much does Spotify pay per stream? Like 0.003 cents.
Do you ever think about leaving the Spotify system, or what do you think about that?
Well, but then what are you supposed to do? Like I can't really play live shows now because like I would be just there with my acoustic guitar strumming. I can do it on the street. Like nobody will take me into a bar or a club for a residency there. And yeah, sure, like selling records, but like who will distribute them?
Yeah, you're right.
As like the way that for instance my path turned out, I need to use basically the Spotify whatever Deezer path because there just isn't any other, right? Like yeah, sure, there are little labels that can make 1,000 copies of your thing or something. Really thinking about writing 2 of them. I found labels that I liked pretty much. And we'll see where that goes.
If you listen close, you can even hear.
I'm having fun with these podcasting, especially now I turned to video. Is video okay for you, or?
Yeah,
I switched to video now the last couple.
Do I look handsome enough in the video?
Yeah, you
I don't know.
Your hair's looking wow. You got to talk about me. I'm the guy that's like, I make fun of because all my podcast things now, because I wasn't thinking about the video, I'm like this whole time.
No, yeah. I saw that on a couple.
So I'm gonna have a T-shirt where it's like, Three Songs Podcast. My head's like that.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's like the song that you gotta let it go sometimes. That was it, folks. Episode 10, 3 Songs Podcast is in the books. It's in the bag. I want to thank Bernard Milé for participating in today's story. Really enjoyed it, and it was great music, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Also, if you like more stories about musicians, this kind of slice of life storytelling, there's a great show on our channel, a new show called Psionic Periphery, and Dappler's doing a great job with it, and he's on episode 2, released today. So go over to Room Rock and check that out, or go to minus1000.com. You can eventually find it there too. Remember, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel or follow us. And there's some other things going on over at Room Rock if you don't know the channel on YouTube. Thanks again, guys. And next week, episode 11 is going to be Side Hustle Prophet on. And he's a really nice, interesting guy. And I guess he falls into the rock category. So tune in next week for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, this is your host, Bay. Take care.